Hello everyone, this is TheNelston. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm here to talk about the 1.19 update and provide some additional context to my previous video, which, by the way, if you haven't watched it, you should definitely go check it out. But I'm here to basically talk about some of the new developments that have happened in between that video and today. And I first want to start off with a couple of clarifications. The first point that was brought up a lot in my comments was that it was probably Microsoft, not Mojang, the studio behind this change. And I completely agree. I apologize for kind of levying too much blame on Mojang. I fully believe that while I don't agree with a lot of Mojang's changes, I think they're very ineffectual. I think, maybe they don't go far enough in changing the core gameplay. I believe that at least they're not malicious, right? Microsoft is malicious. They are putting out bad updates and intentionally bad ones like the 1.19 chat reporting system. And building off of that, the second kind of clarification I wanted to make was a lot of people were pointing out that actually it's not 1.19 that's introducing it, it's 1.19.1. Now, I'm not sure if that's actually just like a modded Minecraft thing, because I know when we talk about 1.7, we refer to 1.7.10. When we talk about 1.12, we mean 1.12.2, and so on and so forth. So maybe vanilla is a little bit different with the conventions there. If that's the case, I apologize. Most of my experience with Minecraft comes from modded, not vanilla. So again, I don't really want to confuse you guys, but for the sake of simplicity in the title, I am still going to stick with 1.19 because when people search for 1.19 stuff, they're more likely to find the video and learn about what's going on. Now on to news about the reporting system itself. When I asked how much worse can this get, I wasn't actually hoping that Microsoft would make the system worse, and yet here we are today with an amazing new exploit discovered by a small YouTuber by the name of IcyStraw. He made a wonderful video recently that goes very in depth about a new exploit which allows for you to report messages out of context and get people potentially permabanned instantly. Now, what is this exploit? Well, I highly encourage you to go watch the video, of course, since it's a very good video that goes very in depth about how this new exploit works and exactly what you can do to protect yourself against it. But just for those of you who want a quick rundown of what exactly is going on, basically what happens when you submit a chat report is it takes the previous few messages, as well as some of the later messages, I believe, that a player sends and sends them as a chat report to Mojang. Now, here's the issue. Before that chat report is sent to Mojang, you can actually remove certain messages from the chat report so that they're not going to appear in the final report that is sent over to Microsoft. Well, so what's the big issue with this exploit? Well, let's consider a hypothetical scenario with 4 lines of dialogue. First, I ask a player, hey, what is your opinion on racial minorities in the United States? And maybe his response is, an MLK quote, right? Do not judge a person by the color of their skin, but rather by the content of their character, or, some variation of that. And then that's a great answer. That is a very acceptable, very good, non-racist answer. Now, what if I ask them a second question? Now, this doesn't even have to be exactly after the question about what are your thoughts on racial minorities, because this could just be a question that comes up maybe 5-10 minutes later. I ask them, hey, what are your thoughts on creepers blowing up our base all the time? Maybe we're playing together and a creeper just blew up a hole outside his base and he's really irritated. And he says something like, man, I hate them. I wish they were all gone. Now, what I could do, in theory, is I could actually go to the chat report and I could remove his answer to the first question, where he says an MLK quote, and I could remove my second question, which was when I asked him what are his thoughts on creepers, by the way, after a creeper blew up his base, and it would look something like this, right? The chat report would show that I asked the question, what are your thoughts on racial minorities? And then it would show that his answer was, man, I hate them. I wish they were all gone. That is really, really bad. And then guess what? Microsoft would not be able to tell that you tampered with it, at least not in the current moment. This is such an easy way to get people banned. And for the time being, you have to be kind of savvy with code in order to pull this off. But I guarantee you, when exploit developers find a way to weaponize this, you will see ban waves like have never been distributed before in the history of Minecraft on any server. So yeah, that's how much worse it could get. I was asking that because I thought it'd be like, oh man, how much worse can it get? Like because it really couldn't get much worse than that. But no, my fears were right earlier about how this could be easily exploited. You see right here that it is so easy to exploit, it's almost hilarious. I think a good follow-up segment to that previous bit about the new exploit and the state of the chat reporting system is to talk about some of the consequences if you do get banned. And I'm sure you have all seen all of the myriad of screenshots flying around the internet showing people getting banned from servers from any number of days, usually like a week or so, all the way up to permanent bans. But I want to talk specifically about an even more insidious consequence that perhaps kind of just slipped Mojang's and Microsoft's oversight. And that is the fact that you can get banned from single player for doing something in multiplayer, or I should say potentially doing something, because if you look at the previous exploit, you can now get banned for literally no reason at all. That's just crazy to me. Like, look at this video, right? This guy got banned from multiplayer, but he can no longer play single player even. So if you get banned for doing something or allegedly doing something in a multiplayer setting, you lose your Minecraft license. You cannot play multiplayer, you cannot play single player. The only thing you can do is log on, load into the game, and stare at a screen that you cannot interact with. And I'm not really sure whether this is intentional, in which case it is the most blatant anti-consumer action I've ever seen taken by a gaming company, except, for EA justifying loot boxes as surprise mechanics. But if it is also accidental, I mean, come on guys, I think we should cut Microsoft a break here. After all, they're a small indie company. So I think the final part of this video that I'm going to cover is what exactly you can do to deal with the new chat reporting system, because I don't believe that Microsoft is going to get rid of it. For those of you who are optimists in my audience, perhaps you disagree with me, but I want to make it very clear, I don't anticipate that Microsoft will remove this feature. I don't believe that they have any good reason to do so, and so we should try to kind of plan around that. And you might be wondering, well, Nelston, why are you so pessimistic? Why do you think they're not going to remove it? Surely there's all this backlash that'll make them reconsider, right? The truth of the matter is, unfortunately, public opinion will never outweigh the profit incentive. Microsoft stands to gain a lot of money from introducing this new chat reporting system, because by introducing chat reporting, they can now market this game as more child-friendly than it already is. This will then increase the potential audience of people who might buy a license of Minecraft. Or I guess I should say more specifically, it'll convince more people to buy licenses of Minecraft for their kids, because that is obviously the target demographic for this change. Now, on the flip side, what does Microsoft have to lose? You and me, we already bought Java licenses. We already paid for the game. And unlike Bedrock, where there's a Minecraft Marketplace, we don't have Minecraft Marketplace. Well, not yet anyways, I should say. But we can't continue to spend money on the game. We've already bought the game, there's no more we can do. So even if we stop playing the game, we boycott Minecraft, big deal, who cares? Minecraft isn't going to lose anything from us stopping playing. We've already paid for our accounts. On the other hand, if more people start to buy the game because of this change, well, Microsoft will have made an easy few million, hundreds of million, or even billions. Stop focusing on things that we cannot affect and start focusing on things that we can do. Concrete actions we can take to protect ourselves against corporations like Microsoft. So what can we do? Well, the first thing we can do is simply do not play Minecraft 1.19. If you must play, then make sure you play on a private server with everybody being someone that you trust and know personally. And you would know that they would not report you, even if you said something stupid, and they would definitely not take something out of context and use an exploit to send a false chat report over to Microsoft. The second thing you can do is, if you must play 1.19 on a server, or you must play on a server that supports 1.19.1 clients, then you should take concrete actions like not saying anything in chat to protect yourself. Don't type at all, don't respond to anyone that says anything, just pretend that you don't see anything. Do not give anybody even a shred of data to potentially work with in order to exploit and report you. The other thing that you can also do is to just avoid playing vanilla. As a modded and server content creator that doesn't play like any vanilla survival whatsoever, I really think you guys should come check out Modded. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of backported features, so if you miss any of the more recent updates, I believe we already have a mod which backports all of the 1.19 features into previous versions. So like, if you really want to play all of the new features, you can already do that with modded Minecraft. You don't have to play on a buggy and potentially exploitative version. So yeah, come check out Modded. I really recommend it. And if you really still don't want to play, well, I don't know how to convince you other than saying you'll be a lot more secure playing Modded compared to 1.19. The final thing you can do, if you really are so inclined, is you can actually submit a feedback report to Mojang and Microsoft directly. Now, I honestly think this is going to be about as effective as starting a change.org petition, but if you must, you can go ahead and send in a feedback report. At least if a lot of people send in something, I don't think Microsoft, like I said earlier, is going to remove the chat reporting system, but at the very least, they might change certain aspects of it that are not as salient to a larger proportion of the Minecraft player base. Apart from that though, I don't really have much else to talk about. You guys can feel free to continue the discussion either in my Discord, which I will drop the link in the description as well as in a pinned comment, or you can also go ahead and continue your conversations in the comments. I saw a lot of really great and vibrant discussion going on in my previous videos, so you guys can continue to do that here if you so choose. And yeah, I don't really have much else to say, so if you liked the video, make sure to leave a like. If you hated it, leave a dislike, subscribe for more content like this, and as always, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.